A great time with the Lord this morning. Killed a workout already. Did insanity like 1.5 times. Wanted that double stretch on. Getting after it. Getting after it. Steve, I've missed you the last couple days, man. It's good to see you on here. All right, all right. Diving in. Can y'all see my screen okay? Everybody's good here. Perfect. Ready to rock and roll. All right. Yesterday missed the drop down. Wanting to make all that back today. We'll see what happens here. But here was that initial drop. You can see that we're holding the 69.81 as support at the moment. This is where we failed yesterday. So it makes sense that buyers try to hold this. If we break above 69.80, I'm going to be looking to take that bullish. I'm going to be looking to take that bullish all the way back up. So let's look at that real quick. Forget how to do this stuff. There we go. All right. So if we take this out, I want to take this back up into 7,004. We've got a nice little harami here. Good move by the buyers. This could go either way today. This could go either way today. If we drop, we're looking at coming back to 69.63. That's a really good level. A break higher. Looks like we're coming up. We got overnight session high here. After that, it's 7,000 plus. We've got this zone of support kind of off this 15-minute. Let's be mindful of that. Let's be mindful of that. All right. NQ. Similar look. Closed a little bit more bullish yesterday on the NQ than we did on the ES. Again, a break up here. I'm going to look take this high out from yesterday at 25,444. Let's watch this level here on the NQ to the downside. There's that initial drop. Let's see how far we drop or if we turn back up. I really kind of want to watch this 25.2 level. If we turn and break back up on both of these, the ES and the NQ, I'm going to look to watch that long. We've got a 30-minute harami that just broke off the ES. Let's give this just a couple minutes. We're above the VWAP, above the 8, above the 21. Looking to go bullish. You've got this downtrend that's transitioning right here off the 1 minute. Let's give it a couple minutes to open. SPY trading at 94. I want the 92 options for my calls. For my puts here, I'm going to go with 96s just to be safe. And let's rock and roll. Let's rock and roll. Have your trade journals out. Again, yesterday felt great. No trade setups that I took. Now, I missed one. We missed that 5-minute. And that's okay. And it turned into a banger. It frustrated me. Told you guys it did. I was honest with y'all. With you all. Wanting to watch this area. We do have this double 1 minute harami. It's a 4.5 point risk, though, so that's pretty big. Pretty big. We did break up off the 30. Now, if we want to go sideways here without taking out this 991 level, I'm cool with that. I'm going to make that magenta right now. This is our hourly high. And so if this kind of comes up, pulls back, then goes, We could take a trade into 991. I need a pullback here, though. Don't want to take this little scalp off the one against 4.5. You just made 3.5. I'd like to see a 5-minute pullback here. Five-minute pullback here. Target's going to be this 991. That's overnight session high. And then from there, if we can hold that level, we're going to look to go to 7,004, 7,011, which is overnight session high. Let's watch this. NQ, same thing. Now the NQ broke the 30-minute to the downside. So let's look at this for a second. We've got the NQ to the downside break here, but notice that you're holding this 342. See all that support here? We're holding all that. ES has already broken to the bullish side. Here, we did not break the downside. If the NQ can start to rally a little bit, that should push us up really well into 991. And if this pullback off the 1 minute holds, we could look at a starter position. Again, it's 4.75. What did this go up to? 4.25, 4.5. If this closes like a doji, we could look at this. This would be a small trade. It's 2.25 risk. This would be a little scalp. I really don't want to take an option until this next 5-minute bar. Now, if the next 5-minute bar can close Harami like this or like this, and then we get that break up, I'm all over it. All over it. You could take this 2 minutes, this 1 minute scalp here. See how it closes. You can take that bullish. That's your entry on it. Just be careful because this could reverse. There's a 1.25 risk there. So this is 3.5, and you're wanting this to come on up into 6,991. See how this 5-minute NQ plays out. That 5-minute NQ is nice. That could be set up really pretty for a move higher. They got pretty bad slippage on that. Again, small size trade here. Small size trade here. Just in case. Want to watch this 5-minute, then get this follow through higher. That's the trade. Typically, we don't take trades in that first little move. That's why right there. We got stopped out on that. Okay. No big deal. Small size trade. Right down when that was. Entry at 935. I had a little bit of slippage on that. Still like this 5-minute. Bitcoin trying to get back positive. IBRX looking decent here. Schlumberger, Halliburton both looking okay. All of our swing trades looking good. All of our swing trades look good. Let's jump over here to our Apple pulling back still. For 1 on the day, small little loss. NQ 5-minute. If this NQ 5-minute can hold, it did not hold. Look good though. Here comes the ES off this level. NQ did not hold. What's this 5-minute setup? 7. I'm going to take this hammer, the 7-point hammer. What is this off my option? 13%. I'll take this on both with a trigger. I'm going to go half size here. Let's see how we close first. Looking for the bullishness here. Looking for the bullishness here. I like the option. If we break this high right now, I mean, you're looking at a 13.7% risk, so you need to scale that appropriately. Scale that appropriately for your account. Boom, there's your entry. There's the 91. Let's see if we can push through that 91 here. Again, small size. I like the 92 calls. That's what I'm looking at. Yeah, that's what I'm in. On Tasty Trade. Still kind of back and forth here. I like this. Again, depending on what you're trading, if you're trading a prop firm, if you're trading like trying to pass evals or something, you may be a little bit quicker to take your gains here. Might be a little faster to move your stops up. It just depends on what your targets are, what you want to do here. It's a little 3-point move. Yeah, it's not super clean. NASDAQ struggling still. You got kind of have this little bit of divergence here. ES really trying to break. We just broke overnight session high, and we're really trying to break up into that 7. And here, the NASDAQ, you can see big inverted hammer looking like we're going to retest this VWAP and roll. I'd like for this 5-minute to close bullish and then run higher. NQ kind of weighing down the ES at the moment. Nice little 1 minute hammer here. Did not take that. That was 3.5 for 5. That was pretty little scalp there. Might be a stop on our option. NQ looks like we may roll. I'm about 1/3 size here, by the way. I got 3 contracts off this 7-point move. It's $5 a contract for the MES. So you're looking at 112 bucks here. Not a big deal. Half size off my option. So this is about a 7% risk for me. NQ failing. That's probably going to stop us out on the ES as well. That stops me out on the ES right there. And my option. All right. That's not fun. 5-minute hammer with a fail. All right. It's at 940. Yeah, NQ's following over here. You've got Apple rolling over. That's not pretty. Amazon here continuing to roll over. Nvidia's trying. Microsoft still rolling over. Meta's blah. AVGO's blah. Google's kind of blah. This could drop very hard. And then TSM is just like ruining the bell curve for everybody. Apple finally rolling over with the rest of the group. Over 2 here. It's about a 7.12 loss for me on my option. All right, let's see where we're at here. Rolling over. This opens the door for sellers to come in. Notice the ES here. Here's the break. Target was hit. This target was hit off that 30 to go break that high. So here's your move up off the 15-minute. Broke that high. Now we went engulfing back to the downside. Does this give us follow through to the downside, or do buyers step in? That's really our big question here. Do buyers step in here? We took this little guy, little quick trade here. That was a stop. Did not take the follow through. We wanted to wait for the 5-minute. This worked. This 1-minute scalp did work. Waited for the follow through off the 5, which was about here. That failed, stopped us out. Now we're looking at potentially shifting our environment. Here's your move up, pull back, move up, drop. If we get follow through to the downside here off this 5-minute, that is a shortable trade. It's about 10 points. It's kind of like the one that we missed yesterday, but 10-point trade. We've not filled the gap on the ES. That's why we risk small. Outside of Indian Prime, the rest of our trades look really good today on our swings, especially Schlumberger coming up into 52. That looks really nice, continuing that trend. Halliburton, love to see that pop into 35.50, get that first fill. Maybe Apple holds, but if it does end up rolling over, that could spell trouble here. On the ES, you can see this level of support off the 30. Follow through down from this 15-minute or the 5-minute opens the door to start coming down into this 63.93, maybe overnight session lows. We still have not filled the gap on the S&P yet. NQ really failing here. And that is what's driving the S&P lower. Seems like the S&P wants to move higher. NASDAQ wants to move lower. Yeah, these aren't great. They're fighting each other. Kind of fighting against each other. This is a transition here off the 5. There's your drop. You got the 8 below the 21. We're below the VWAP. So we've got this cluster of EMAs overhead. Well, 8.75 risk at the moment. It's kind of big. Dow's looking strong, but Dow kind of does its own thing. I'm wanting more than these 1-minute 6-point candles. Again, this is great conditions for half-size trades. Great conditions for half-size trades. Got existing home sales and potentially mortgage delinquencies coming up at 10. Both of those not looking to move too much of the market, in my opinion. And we're kung fu fighting. Good push up here. I did like this hammer. But a 7.5 point risk, we're going to take that smaller size. Not risking 375 a contract on that. Now, if you're trading to pass an eval, if you're trading your own money, it's a little different. But if you're trading to pass one of these evals, you got to remember that a lot of times they have what's called a trailing drawdown limit. And so on these bigger moves, you want to protect that trailing drawdown profit, which for sure is one reason you want to go smaller size. A, especially on these bigger candles. B, you have to be quicker at taking profits at different levels. Now, once you pass that evaluation, then you can be a little more relaxed. It's not as of a big deal. Got a little 4.1 minute candle here. I'm going to hold off on this at the moment. I'd like to see what this 5 minute does. We're in that 69.74 zone. The downside here is if this breaks, it's only 4 points. You could easily drop down, take these lows out. If buyers step in, they try to push it higher. This is a nice setup. I would rather wait for the bigger 5 minute. If we want, let's just see how it plays out. Let's see how it plays out real quick. May come on down into target. Real close. And that's your target. That would have hit. Little scalp trade right there would have hit. All right, let's see what this 5 minute does. If this can hold, again, that 7 points, I like this back down into 69.63. There's the continuation of the 5. It is not holding. Looks like we're going to go fill that gap. So here's the break of the 69.74 area. I did not take this 5 minute continuation move. 1 minute was really pretty. It's a little hesitant on that. Probably should not have been. trying to fill the gap on the S&P. Probably should have taken that for the attempt at the gap fill here back into 69.50. Sellers look to be in control here on the NASDAQ pretty strong. Again, getting extended, but we may keep going. I mean, especially if Apple keeps pushing lower. If Nvidia flips and goes red, this could be big trouble. Sellers in control here. There's your 69.63. That's your gap fill. That's your 69.63 target. Didn't quite get your one-to-one here off your option trade into that target. 1 minute would have paid very well. 4 to make 12. Hold on 1 second for me, team. My dog needed to be let in. It's my trading mascot. We have this in Harami right now from the engulfing of yesterday. NASDAQ coming down, trying to break these lows. This is not great for the bulls. There's your news. Existing home sales down. Good drop right into that 69.63. Should have just trusted our levels and taken that short right here. 0 for 2 on the day. Small sizes, though, so it's not like it's crazy hurty. Doesn't look like they're going to post the mortgage delinquencies. Pretty drop right here into our target. Buyer stepping back in. Filled the gap on the S&P. Right, filled that gap. Bounce up. So do we have a choppy day or do we drop and continue? Downside here is if we try to take this option, that would have been a 9.5 point risk. You're making 7.5. Right. So here's your options, 23%. This would drop at 19. Maybe you could have dropped this down a little bit more. Like instead of doing the 6s, you did the 7s, and this would have been a little bit better. Maybe it hit, I don't know, 17 to make 18. But you would have had to take some gains here at that target, which is why we mark them out on our levels. Buyers trying to come back in. You took the short, Dave. That a boy. Off the 1 minute or off the 5? It was a pretty setup. I mean, it was a very pretty setup right here off that 54. We had everything crossing over. Nice look right at our short area. I mean, it was not a bad setup at all. I just did not take it. I was waiting on a bigger 5 minute. We didn't get the 5 minute, right? What I was hoping for was more that this stayed Harami. Then we get the break. Then we take the trade. That's a 1-to-1 for sure. We didn't get that. And so the 1 minute here, that scalp turned into a little bit bigger trade. That was really pretty. And really just depends on your trading style. We took a 1 minute trade earlier, didn't play out. This one obviously would have played very well into, 12 points, risking 4.5, whatever that was. You're basically having these 4 point risks though. If you're going to trade the 1 minute, you've got a 4 point risk here. You've got a 4 point risk here. So if you're taking these trades, you're going to have those risks. January home sales dropped 8%, according to CNBC. Easily could come down, take out these two levels, try to come back down into the 69.20. We do have this 5 minute. It's 13 points worth of risk, though. 25% worth of risk. That's rather large. Don't know if you want to take that or not. I'd rather see smaller size risk here. That's me. Good trade, though, Dave. Yeah, he had a 1 minute Harami that on the NQ that rolled over. I think it was like 17 points. This first little bullish action got me. That's what I was looking for, that continuation move. I was really hoping that the NQ turned with the ES. That would have been enough to probably push us into a target. I was looking for that 7,000. This rolled over with big tech. You can see Apple's off its lows. It was trading it down $3 a few minutes ago. You'll see this nice looking hammer. Sorry, I was looking at Amazon. This is at the lows. Amazon back to the lows. I was out for whatever reason. I saw that at 2.4 and I thought it was Apple. Nvidia near its lows, Microsoft near its lows, Meta near its lows, AVGO, Google here. None of this looking great. If we can close double 5 minute Harami here and drop, I would look to take this. Let's see if this close holds, though, if this Harami holds or if it just breaks and goes. I did not see that 1 minute, and I wasn't going to chase it. Oh, don't break it. And there's your break. I'm not taking that break. I'm not going to take a 13-point risk here. Not even 1/3 size. Not down 0-2 on the day. If this was our first trade, maybe. Maybe. Looks like we're going to have to zoom into some of these 1-minute setups again. Like this one that paid on a scalp. I'm sorry, S&P may try to go engulfing here on the 1 hour like the NASDAQ has. Again, if you tried to take this trade, you made two. There's a lot of risk there on the 13. At this point, we could just trend trade at the 21 off this 1 minute. Downside is you're already in support. So is it going to continue or not? That's the question. This was probably our best setup. Didn't take it off the 1. I was waiting for the 5. Then we had this setup here as well. Let's see what we can do here. 69.63, trying to hold support. I mean, this is a strong level. There's an insta bounce, rejected, bounced again, closed, bouncing again. Trying to show strong levels here. We're trading at 692 or at 97. That's a lot in the money. Let's go ahead and take this to 94 fives. Let's go to 95s here. On the puts. If we break back down, I'm going to look to take that. I'd be a little quick on my entry here. But if we break back down off this 5, that's kind of what I want to see. Reason being 63.93 is a strong level, but overnight session lows is down at 53 or near it. Now the NQ's already broke its session lows. The goal for the NQ here would be a continuation move down into 141 and then 25.1, 25.60. If this moves higher, I'm not taking the trade. So a break higher here, not do anything. We are about to get a nice 15-minute potential doji sandwich on the NQ. This is starting to push higher. Let's delete these levels. If this wants to come back up through the range, I'm totally cool with that. So when I say take a 1 minute trade, Deborah, what I'm looking at is taking a trade off this chart down here. This is a 1 minute chart. This is a 5 minute chart. For me, personally, I only take option trades off a 5 minute. Personally, I want to give it more time to run. I want to give it more time to work. This 1 minute trade worked out really well. This inverted hammer continuation worked. This one actually hit a 1-to-1. These would be my scalp trade. So if I'm looking at this, I'm going to use this 1 minute to scalp. Now, I can still make great money scalping. I can still make some really good money scalping. If I take this half size here, like this is a $200 per contract risk. So if I took that half size, that's $100. And this move down can make me some decent money. But I would be out pretty quickly, right? This one, 4 points. This guy, 3. I would have made my money. Stop out. So this is like you're in and out, in and out, in and out. 4 points. This dropped 6. That would have made you your money. And then your stop loss is bar to bar on the break of the prior bar. On my 5 minute setup, it's a little different. Like I was looking. Up here, here's your downtrend. Here's your move up. Here's this hammer doji sandwich. Look, I'm looking for this continuation back up into 7,000. That's what I was looking for out of the gate here. And so we got in, it made about $3 and then just dropped on us, right? And the trade failed. I take this trade. I would take this trade every time though. I would take this trade every time. And so that's where I took my option trade and this was a stop. So right now on options, like this is where I'm at pretty much on the day. So I'm down about 175. This is about $200 at the moment with fees. And I'm only down about 7% here. Does that make sense? So now we're trying to get a transition off the 1. I like this. The only thing I don't like is my VWAP's right overhead. So from this 1 minute, this is a nice looking pullback setup transition trade. How do we know? Downtrend, move up, like right here's a high, higher low, lower high, broke a low. We broke this high. We're retesting this high. This is a good pullback. If this breaks up, this is a transition trade. The only downside is we have this purple VWAP overhead that could act as resistance. And you can see this area right here, all of that resistance, right? Resistance, 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 drop. And so now we're trying to come through that resistance. And if we do, that opens the door to really pop all the way back up into 6992. But on our bigger time frames, which are more important than a 1 minute, because a 1 minute is a very quick time frame, it is mainly used for scalping. This is just a move back into resistance. This is just a move back into resistance. This could turn up and rally, or we could drop lower, break this low, and then keep going down. Yeah, Deborah, if I'm taking a 1 minute trade, you can bet your time frame is typically 1 minute to 5 or 10 minutes at the most. So you're in and out quick. If you're in a 5 minute trade, you're probably going to be in that trade for another 5, 10, 15, 30 minutes. If you're in a 15-minute setup, that 15-minute setup might turn into something bigger. And so I'm scalping those 1 minute setups if I take a 1 minute trade. Does that make sense? Yeah, you can't really do that with Thinkorswim. You can't really do that with Thinkorswim. You can, it's just harder and you pay more upfront. And so the time frame that you enter off of makes it easier to manage those particular trades. So for example, if we look at this 30-minute chart right here, another reason that we wanted to go long was to take this trade up into that 6991. So if we look at that, that's your break, and that arrow is going to populate here. Well, that was before market, before market, before market. So what is this? This is at 9 o'clock. So we're waiting for that insta break. That's right here at 9:30. It broke up. Well, we didn't take the instant break at 9:30. So we were waiting for a better setup. That was the 5 minute setup, and then there's your move up. We did try to take, or I did, I don't know if y'all did, um, this initial breakup about 3 minutes in, and then it stopped us out. And this was just a small trade. This was about half size. So it was about a 1.75 risk. So I was waiting for that bigger 5 minute setup, which is why I did not take this 1 minute, which was really pretty. Probably should have taken that one in hindsight, and maybe this one. And then I haven't taken anything since. So here's this 4.75. It makes 2.75. I think we may get some choppiness here until we really get decisions on what buyers are going to do. We've got 15-minute haramis on both the ES and the NQ. So here's the ES harami, nice hammer harami. This could act as a turn signal trying to come back up through the range. And the NQ actually just broke up. So the NQ breaking. This was a harami. This just broke. So now we could come back all the way up into 292, 300 on the NQ. That door is open. But we're very sideways. And in the sideways environment, I find myself not wanting to trade too terribly much. Especially being down 0 and 2 on the day. I mean, I've got about $220 to give on my drawdown mentally, like as far as what I'm trading here. I like to say, hey, I can lose 400 bucks a day. That's my max loss. If I lose 400 per account, I'm done. And the reason is I make two to 500 every single day. And so if I know this and I'm already down and I'm not down my max, that I'm willing to go down, then I can say, okay, let's wait for this better setup because one good trade could put me back to even. Like this one trade here, this little 4 point trade here, that probably would have put me back to even. That's a $200 win per contract. So I would take that half size. That's 100 bucks. This would run down to my target at 12 times 5. That's another 60. Um, let's just do the math real quick. For that's about a $160 trade right here on 5 MES. Again, doesn't sound like a lot, but when you look at your P&L and you're down 175 and you just made 160 on the runners, then you're only down 15 bucks. That's easy. Does that make sense? And so we're very sideways here. Um, seems like buyers are trying to hold. We keep rejecting at this 69.74 area. And you can see on the 5 minute NQ, keep rejecting here, right? 55 points. You're down 40, you're up 26. Haven't hit your 1-to-1 here. Could try to push back up. I would not be shocked to see that. And we may not get that chance to trade with it. We got to bounce out of here in a few minutes and get to our swing trade room. And I'm okay ending the day a little bit lower. I didn't take a trade yesterday. Probably be some more setups this afternoon. We'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. Super sideways. I like this if it can hold. Downside is I know we've got support right here. I like this 5.5 short back into these lows. This is at 5.5. So a break of this low becomes your target. But if we close bullish hammer, that could easily push us back into 75 and then kind of try to come back up through the range, see if buyers get anything going. Very sideways. And usually when you get something that's sideways, the best thing to do is just wait until you find better direction. because this could go either direction. Right now, you're obviously thinking bearish because you're under your 821 VWAP, but this could be a turn where you break up back here and then keep going. We are not going to have time to stick around for it. From the bearish structure, same situation, 6.75 to make 5.5. Yeah, I mean this could easily go either way here. And if you're like you have to choose direction, I'm taking it bearish. But you can wait. You don't have to take anything either way. All right, team. Sorry I missed the this 1 minute here. Wish I'd have called that out. We'd be basically break even on the day with that. That trade got a little ambitious off this 1 minute. Should have waited for that 5. Could have avoided a little bit of a stop there, but this is okay. I'm all right. We've got small size. As long as you're trading smaller size, you're good. And we'll see how it continues to play out. All right. I love you guys. If you got any questions, holler at us, trading at neocdg.com. Live streamers on YouTube. Sorry, we didn't have any bangers today. I was really hoping that we got something rocking and rolling with us. Unfortunately, it happens. But all of our swing trades are making money today. So I feel real good about that. All right, team. I'll see you all in the swing trade room. Have a great day.